So the Maharsha says about the following story of the Baal HaIkarim, an amazing story. And he says that there was once a man who was a sinner. And this person, he came to a Hacham. This person's a thief, a Ganab. So he comes to the wise man, he wants him to do teshuvah. He wants to stop stealing. And he says, I can't change everything at one time. I can't become a totally different person at one shot. You know, people that they take on themselves too many things at one time, they crash. Can't do that. The body needs to have slow adjustment. We learned that from Moshe Rabbeinu at Har Sinai. Hashem first approached Moshe Rabbeinu. Before he approached him at the revelation of Har Sinai, he first approached him with the snare and the thorn bush on a smaller scale. This way that Moshe Rabbeinu will be ready for revelations on much bigger magnitudes. And people want to grow, they can't change all the things at once. There was a boy that I was trying to help him to date a certain girl, making up shidduch. And the girl was a girl that went down, fell very badly, religiously. And the girl, she became very strong. She wants a religious husband. She wants the husband to be kolel. But she has this woman, this girl, she had extra earrings in her ear. This girl also wasn't wearing stockings. And she was going to date a guy who was going to be a long-term learner. And I said to this girl, I said, you know, if you want to date this guy, you're going to have to go one earring each, because otherwise you're not even giving yourself a chance that it's going to work. You're not going to go with stockings. You're not giving yourself a chance it's going to work. So the girl said, let me tell you, Rabbi. She says, I was at the bottom, and I'm proud from where I came from. And I still have the earrings because I want to always remember the journey. So I said, you don't have to wear them during the date, but it's just, this is part of my identity. Because Rabbi, I want to explain something. You see, whenever a person is supposed to try to change, he's supposed to think about what he wants to change, what type of things he wants to do differently, not do what he wants to do differently, break that down into half, and do half of what he wanted to do. Because if you try doing the whole thing, it's not going to work. Now, not only the half that you broke down you shouldn't do, you should break that down to a quarter. And the half you should do the quarter, and then you know that you're on the right path. Why? Because the easy does it, slow steps is the secret to change. The greatest enemy to change is speed. You don't want to go so fast. You want to go slowly. Small little steps, they set a trajectory in motion. So this person, he went to this rabbi, the Baal HaIkarim says, the Maharsha brings it down. He says, I'm a ganaf and I want to do teshuvah. Rabbi, what should I do? How do I change my behavior? And the rabbi says to him, are you willing to accept on yourself just one thing to change? And the guy says, yes. So the wise man said to him, the Hacham, he says to the Ganab that wants to do teshuvah, take upon yourself one thing to change. Don't lie. You accept? He says, accept. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. Now, not long after that, he's on his way to make another kill, to steal. And on his way to steal, he meets somebody. And the guy asks him, where are you going? Now, he can't lie. What is he going to say? What's he going to say now? He's stuck. He said, I'm going to steal. And then he continues. He feels very embarrassed. He continues. But he has to, at least I kept my promise. And he meets another person on the way. And the other person, he says to him, where are you going? He said, I'm going to steal. I'm going to rob a bank. Now he starts to realize that he told two people. And if these two people are going to go and tell the police, then he's messed up. Now he's a real trouble. They got to throw him into jail. They know who's the guy. So now he can't steal. And every time he wanted to do something wrong, because he was being honest with himself, right? He couldn't do anything wrong. See, that's the secret. Sometimes there's one thing when you want to change, you have to find the one thing that you could do different that's going to have an impact on all other things that you could do different. Find one thing, have a ripple effect. Ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do that can make the biggest change over all the things, other things that I need to change? This is found in the Marasha in Sanhedrin, Adaf Tzadik Bet Amud Aleph. This Marasha, this Baal HaIkarim. Now it's amazing how we find in this week's parasha, it says, Midbar Sheker Terhak. What does it mean, Midbar Sheker Terhak? What does it mean? It doesn't say anywhere in the Torah that you can't lie. It doesn't say. It says, Lo ta'aneh b're'achai et shaker. You can't be a false witness in court. It doesn't say anywhere in the Torah you can't lie. It says, Midbar Sheker Terhak. Distance yourself from speaking words of falsehood. Right? It doesn't say you can't lie. Why is it that if lying is such an important thing, why is it that such a thing, the Torah never says it's asur? Especially we know that if you're going to keep the truth, if you're not going to lie, you'll eventually keep the whole Torah. You know, the Vilna Gaon said you can't hit your kids for anything. The only thing you hit your kids for is lying. Right? So lying is something that is such an important thing, and still for some reason, it doesn't say anywhere in the Torah you can't lie. It doesn't say anywhere in the Torah. And we have to understand why. We know the Torah says you can't lie, but another says it's asur, so you should stay away from it. Midbar sheker tilhak. The only time you're allowed to lie, certain areas. The Gemara tells certain times you're allowed to lie. You're allowed to lie for the sake of making peace. The shalom bait, you're allowed to lie. Certain areas we allow a person to lie in. So why is it that the Torah never openly says that you can't lie? So the Ben Ish Hai, he brings in Mashal v'Nimshal, he brings the story. The story was about a certain guy, his name was Goel. The Ben Ish Hai says a story about a certain fellow, his name was Goel. Goel, he was a young man, and one night of Rosh Hashanah, when he went to sleep, before he closed his eyes, he said to himself, you know, the world is so full of people lying, people full of deceit. He said to himself, how come many people are suffering from dishonesty? He said to himself, I wish that all the sheker, all the dishonesty would just disappear, would vanish. Like we say, call it ish'akula ba'ashan tichle. All go away. And at that moment, Goel, who's going to sleep, the Ben Ish Hai says, he all of a sudden he notices a black, small creature that was standing by his bed. And he asked this person, who are you? And the person says, so he noticed that there was this creature, black, small creature next to his bed. He said, who are you? He said, I'm Sheker. So he said, you're Sheker, I hate lying. And Goel jumped out of his bed and he tried to grab the black small creature, the Sheker. He tried to grab it, to kill it, to destroy it, to rip it apart. But of course, Sheker is very slippery. And every time he tried grabbing it, it slipped out of his hands. And he couldn't catch it. He said, what do you want from me? He says, I want that there shouldn't be any more Sheker in the world. So he says back to him, he said, without people lying, right, the world wouldn't be able to survive even one day. He said, no such thing. We don't need to have Sheker in the world. We could survive very good without Sheker, without people lying. And at that moment, he said, I'll make you a deal. Sheker tells this Goel, I'll let you live one day without me. let's see how you survive without being able to lie for one day. And with that sheker, he disappeared. And at that moment, right, Goel, this guy Goel, he wakes up. He realizes what type of dream he had. He realizes that now he is in a position where he can't lie anymore. And when he opens his eyes on the morning of Rosh Hashanah, who comes to his bed? He has a housekeeper that comes towards him, and she's bringing him a bowl of warm water to wash his face in Baghdad, to wash his face, to wake up in the morning, and to refresh himself. And he sees this old woman, her wrinkled face. He sees this woman who she lived in his house, because Goel was not married, he had no kids. And this woman was taking care of him. She was doing the dishes, she was taking care of him. So Goel tells her, you know, I wish that I didn't have to wake up every morning to see your wrinkled face. And she says, what? She says, yeah, I wish I had a nicer person, a nicer looking woman that I could bring me the water in the morning. Not some old woman with a wrinkled face. At that moment, this woman, she took the water and she poured the water all over Goel's face. Amen. And she said to him, I bless you, my master, that I was going to bless you before. You're going to have the best year in your life, that you're going to have a year of shalva, serenity, a year of goodness. But now that you did this to me, now that you spoke to me like this, right? She curses him that all the good that he had going for him, he's going to lose out on. The worst year of his life. And she leaves the house. And he says, what did I just do? I lost now the person. She was so dedicated to making sure that everything was good, this woman. And he leaves his house, and even though now he's all shaken up, morning of Rosh Hashanah, he's wondering to himself, why did I speak to her like this? Why did I lose out such a chadame, a special helper? And he goes out of his house, and he sees, as he's walking to back from the shul that day, he sees his uncle. He says, you know what? Let me walk my uncle home. And he walks his uncle to the house, and he says to his uncle, his rich uncle supporting him, he says, you know something? What? No, he sees the uncle that was supporting him all these years. He says to him that it's so nice that I'm seeing you now, and it would be nicer that if this year you're not going to live through the year this way, that all your money that you have, I'm your only inheritor, and I'll be able to have the money. This way I can be able to take care of myself and marry and put myself, do proper investments. The guy says, that's why you're so nice to me? That's why you're so nice to me? At that moment, he commands his servant that right after Rosh Hashanah, he's going to write this guy out of his will. This guy is not going to get $1 from him. So what did I just say? What did I just say? And he leaves the house of his uncle, and he's walking, and he sees the girl that he's been dating for a little bit, and he sees her, and he says to her, you know, we're about to get married, already engaged. He said, I hope this one's going to work, because the last 3 girls I got engaged to, it all didn't work. And the first one that hopefully is good, she says, what, you were engaged already 3 times? You already engaged 3 times? Right?
It's having bad luck.
So now he says, I have no house, I have no khadameh, I have no money, I have nothing. He says, why can't I keep my mouth shut? And at that moment, he realizes that he wishes that he could be able to say the not truth. He wishes that he could sometimes lie. But because the sheker, he told sheker, I don't want to be able to lie again. I don't want there to be lying in the world. Now he realizes how much it's important to have being able to lie. And then all of a sudden he wakes up. And he sees his khadameh. And she has a wrinkled face. She's bringing up the water to him. He realized it was a dream. He says, wow, I'm so lucky to have you. You're the most unbelievable, young-spirited person. You should live to be 135. And you should have health You should have wealth. You should have energy. The rest of it says, wow, so happy to have this person as my master. And then he sees his uncle in the shul, and he says, you know something? I wish to live till 120. I wish that I could be there for you and help you, and you should always be healthy. And then he sees his wife, the girl he's about to marry, and he says to her, I never met a world like you. I never met a girl like you. You're the best ever came to me in my life. And he said, let's get married right after the holiday. And with that, he realized the importance of not being able to lie. You understand? This is why the Torah never says that you can't lie. Why doesn't the Torah say you can't lie? It says. It says that distance yourself from lying, but it doesn't say that you can't lie. Why does it say you can't lie? Because sometimes it's good to lie. When you're going to make somebody feel good, go ahead and lie. Tell them, wow, so happy to see you today. You're not happy to see the guy today. But you know what? This is called the white lie. Sometimes it's not a lie. For the case of shalom, you're supposed to lie. Everybody lies. The question is, what are you going to use your lies for? There's no sin to lie. The sin to lie is only in court. The sin to lie is only when you're going to lie and make somebody believe that you're selling something that's more valuable when it's not really valuable, or you're hiding something of a deficiency in the product. But to lie of the person that doesn't hurt anybody just to make the guy feel good, why not lie? They ask you, how are you feeling today? You could lie. If you don't want to tell the guy how you feel, you're really feeling like dirt, say, I'm feeling great, Baruch Hashem. Right? Because why not to lie? It's a white lie and it only doesn't hurt you. And that's what it means to say that even though that it's important to say emet, because only with emet a person is able to really serve Hashem, but there's a higher value than emet. What's a higher value than emet? Shalom. Emet is an important value, but shalom is even greater than emet. That's what it means to say deracheh noam. The ways of the Torah are very, very good. But the shalom. But the purpose of the Torah is, on a deeper level, we want shalom in the world. So we want that there should be shalom. And how do we sometimes have to have shalom? Sometimes to be able to bend the truth a little bit, to help the person to be able to feel good with himself. And that is the message about knowing when it's good to say the truth and when it's good to twist the truth. Amen.